Oh boy, guys, here we go again. The big controversy which is now being faced on Silent Hill F and the Souls-like combat that has been seen in the recent gameplays. Now, I've watched the video from IGN. The video is about 12 minutes long actually, and in the video the narrator says very clearly there are some quite difficult boss fights, as in even in one boss fight on normal, it took him literally over 1 hour to beat the boss. Another of his colleagues who was playing on easy mode, because there's normal and story mode, right? These are the two modes you can select in the game. I guess in New Game Plus, maybe you can select hard mode. Potentially, I don't know. Either way, the person playing on easy mode defeated the boss on the second try, so I guess after maybe 20 minutes or something. But then there was another person from a different media outlet who literally played the game on story mode in the presentation, which was happened just 2 days ago, and that person could not beat the boss even on story mode after 1 hour, so they had to leave because their time was up with the game in that event. And there are some articles on social media. I mean, we have Eurogamer, which says something quite strong. It says the following: Fandom split on Silent Hill F's Souls-like combat. Hopefully they pull a blooper and prove me wrong. This was published by Eurogamer. Then we have another article which was published by the people at videogamer.com, which they said the following: Silent Hill F compared to Souls-like subgenre. Game Informer have shared their preview on Silent Hill F, and in the preview, Game Informer said that Silent Hill has shades of the From Software Souls-like subgenre because of the what? Stamina systems. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious. Like, when you have a stamina system in place, automatically the game gets closer to a Souls-like game, especially if you have difficult enemies, or they're strong, or they have a large health pool. Just by having stamina limitations means you cannot spam like a crazy person or dodge like a crazy person, because even dodging obviously uses stamina, and with that it becomes a closer to a Souls-like experience. While largely complementary of the gameplay and melee, the stamina system was criticized because it takes about a second and a half before it begins to refill, which feels like an eternity because it's just long enough to be vulnerable to successive attacks from the much faster enemies. So if you used your stamina bar completely because you didn't manage it properly, you are going to be left vulnerable for a quite long time. Especially that, I mean, 1.5 seconds, that's a long time. Like, you know, even Souls games don't take 1.5 seconds to start filling up. It just doesn't happen, right? So this, I understand, it could be quite annoying. In addition, enemies are really fast, and Game Informer's Marcus Stewart often died simply from lacking the energy to flee after dodging 2 or 3 attacks in a row. What makes this worse is that it conflicts with the context of how Hinako describes herself in her journal as being a former track and field athlete, so you'd think she has obviously better conditioning. So the lore here is a bit weird. The article goes on and says the following: alongside the stamina system, Game Informer also said the following: one big, almost Souls-esque boss fight. This was said to be an absolute nightmare because of the stamina limitations. Issues came from the delayed regeneration of the stamina, not being able to keep up with the monster's relentless attacks, which by the way were short distance and long distance, and they require constant dodging. And not only that, but the monster kept disappearing and reappearing, needing to be chased around the arena. So again, that's just annoying. I hate those boss fights where the boss just disappears and appears again and disappears and blinks in, blinks out. It's like, just have a freaking fight. I don't want to chase someone across a scenario to just hit them once and then have to chase them again for like 30 seconds and to hit them one more. It's just bad design. I mean, from my point of view, that is a pretty bad design, honestly. Marcus Stewart said that they spent a full hour on this particular boss fight, which shows just how challenging it was, with Stewart further claiming that they weren't alone. According to Game Informer, others at the preview shared similar frustrations, so Stewart is hoping that the stamina system is somehow reworked on launch. Guys, this is a big issue, to be honest, right? Now, the creator, the creator of this, the mind behind this, right? Ryukishi07, right? This person who created the story, he said in his interviews that yes, the game has certain elements which resemble modern current game trends. So obviously he's mentioned indirectly about Souls-like games, as you can imagine, right? Which is just obvious, right? When he said current modern game trends. But that's the problem here. Many people will not like it. Many people will feel that this is again too much. We are just pushing the Souls-like formula into every single nook and cranny in video games. And I understand that's a serious concern for many people, especially people who play action games, horror games, adventure games, hack and slash games. They don't like Souls-like games because you have to learn enemy patterns, you have to understand the stamina system, like just managing your stamina system like for throughout the whole game. Of course at the beginning could be a bit annoying and difficult, but like many people don't like it. Like I've talked to many people in my life and some of my friends and stuff, and they just abhor and hate a stamina system in a game because it just makes them feel like slow, it just makes them feel like heavy, it just doesn't let them enjoy the gameplay because they're used to playing games without a stamina system in place. Now, it would be unfair to say that just because the game has a quote-unquote stamina system, it's a Souls-like game, but the gameplays speak for themselves. I mean, the IGN videos, they show clearly that yes, the gameplay and the mechanics are quite slow-paced. You have to dodge the enemy, you have to use stamina, you cannot just go there and just like, fight like a hack and slash. And because of that problem the game has with the stamina system, which apparently the press did not like in particular, especially because it takes a long time to regenerate, that could cause many issues for many people, because this is a horror game, right? If you want to market a game as a horror game, but then you start playing it and it becomes a Souls-like horror-esque game, right? Not a horror game with Souls elements, but like a Souls game with horror elements, which is what feels like it's going to be potentially, especially if all of the boss fights are going to take like half an hour to an hour to learn their patterns. Many people will feel pretty annoyed, and that's the problem. Now, there's more news on the weapons and combat. For example, you will only have close range weapons, so you don't have any long range weapons to use them to, spam your way out of combat. The weapons also degrade and break over time. I guess you will be able to fix them potentially. There are 3 weapon slots. Toolkits for fixing things, so that means basically you can fix weapons, I presume. Avoiding enemies is more difficult than in previous titles. Monsters move quite quickly. You have to dodge to evade attacks. Heavier weapons block attacks. Stamina meter. Perfect dodge replenishes this bar, so if you perfect dodge you replenish stamina, which is something that some other games have. Use the shoulder buttons to perform light and heavy attacks. You can also charge focus attacks. The Souls-like label isn't totally inaccurate. Has shades of the subgenre from Software popularized. Almost Souls-esque boss fights. Stamina limitations has an absolute nightmare based on the press, what they've said. Combat can be very challenging. You can equip helpful perks, which is good. There are elaborate puzzles, which are, some of them are mandatory, some of them are optional. The open world contains certain optional structures. There are 5 different endings. There's a fan favorite UFO ending in the game, which is pretty cool. Fantastic 3D audio and effective sound design, and very positive vibe overall. This was from the Game Informer article. This is what was summarized by German Strands on Twitter. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, guys. Honestly, I believe that this game is going to be one of those games where there's going to be quite a polarized reception. I personally myself, I have played many Souls-like games. I'm quite used to the genre. I don't really mind the genre to be Souls-like, but I can fully understand how people would see this and be like, you know what? I don't really like it. I don't really want to go into this feeling like I'm gonna play a Souls-like game, because that would kind of make me feel like stressed out. Now I understand people who feel like that, 100%, you are entitled to that opinion. I respect that 100%. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Like, why do we have to have every single game as a Souls-like game? And the answer here is pretty obvious. Elden Ring had such a massive impact on the gaming world. It shaped the gaming industry. It was a game which, when it was released, it just made so many waves in the industry that literally games which are not Souls-like are introducing Souls-like elements into their game to attract the audience that likes Souls-like games, because now Souls-like games is mainstream. That's right, this is the thing right now. Souls-like, Elden Ring made it mainstream. People love Souls-like gameplay because it's fun, it's addictive, it's challenging, and it's very, very rewarding. That's the thing, right? And it has lots of playability. You can play the game for a long time. You can play New Game Plus. Like, it gives you a lot of enjoyment and playability. But on the other side, people will be very annoyed that this trend and this new approach of Souls-like, which is being pushed in every single game these days, not every single one obviously, but like many games, even horror games, like traditionally horror games has that in them. Fully understand people's frustration and the controversy, and I believe that what they have to do is take the feedback from the press, understand that the stamina system, which is basically the most annoying one apparently based on the previews from the press, is very annoying, is very difficult to manage, it's just very slow, so they have to just agilize it, make it faster, make it go up faster, to kind of like give people a more enjoyable experience, like not be frustrated from the stamina. You want people to be frustrated from not being able to, to beat a boss because of the lack of skill, and they have to get better. But if stamina gets in their way and it's because of a shitty mechanic, that's not enjoyment. That's just basically bad game design. That's the difference, right? That's the main difference. And if they get this right, you may have a winner. If not, you may have a problem. So guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next videos. Bye.